Hey guys, about to play the second round of a Ravnica flashback draft, and I would like to play first. And, don't really think we want to keep this one. I mean, if we draw one land, we're probably okay. Like, we have 3/3 drops, and we're all pretty solid. And then we have Scatter the Seeds ready to go too. But it seems just a little too iffy to keep a 2-lander there. And, I mean, there's a lot of things better than 2 Centaur Safeguards, but at least we have both their colors, and we can, have enough lands to play most of the spells in our deck, so I think I'll be keeping this one. I'm going to put that on the bottom, because we'd rather draw some more action at this point. Early game action, specifically. Does he have a 1-drop? Is there a blue 1-drop worth playing? I don't recall. Yeah, I mean, we'll play a couple early safeguards. That'll at least trade for stuff and gain us life in like a worst case scenario. All right, well, that is not a bad thing. Just keep drawing our Bramble Elementals and Fists of the Ironwood combo, because it's basically how we won both games in round one. Scatter the Seeds obviously played a role as well. So, Centaur. Yeah, Mark of Eviction's annoying. It is annoying. He can, it'll just bounce my creature every turn of your upkeep. So, let me go ahead and swing. And the question is, do I want to play a second Centaur Safeguard or just use Scatter the Seeds? I think I'd rather play a second Safeguard for now. He will evict my first Centaur. But, he does have to invest 1 blue every turn in doing this. And if we just keep hitting him for 3, there's worse things in the world. Looks like he's actually going to play something now, though. All right, Greater Moss Dog. It is. Oh, he can still play his Mark, too, actually. Right, well, we're going to swing. Opponent's going to take it. So, do I just play another Centaur Safeguard? Yeah, I think I will. Like, blue removal spells unlimited, like, ever, because blue just doesn't usually get... I mean, it's basically like a removal spell, more like... to a greater extent than most bounce spells, because it just keeps doing it. So, it's kind of annoying. Yeah, I don't have quite enough to Scatter the Seeds. I guess if I hadn't swung earlier, I would have, but I think getting in for 3 is relevant. Don't play something big and scary. Our deck's going to struggle against such things. Flight of Fancy. That thing's really good. Draws him 2 cards. He can start just swinging in the air without too much concern. If he wants to, anyway. And he does. Surprise, surprise. We do have a way of blowing this up in our sideboard and that, so we may want to bring in some enchantment destruction because, you know, Flight of Fancy, basically all we can take away is flying, but that can be a good trick. Like right there, if we could have done it, we could have. So, it's not a terrible thing. Wow, all the Centaur safeguards. That's all we got. What if our deck was literally just Centaur safeguards? This time I think I'm only going to play one, though, because then I can scatter the seeds at the end of his turn. Yeah. It's kind of silly that those are the only creatures we've drawn, but, you know, they're hitting him pretty hard. I mean, he did just draw 2 cards. He could have lots of big, scary creatures that he is about to throw at us. So, that's worth remembering. But we can't really do much else since all we're drawing is more Centaur safeguards. Play something. I'm thinking he's probably playing something big and scary now. He just tapped both blue. Yeah, he is playing something big and scary. Well, maybe not big. But it can regenerate, and that's annoying. Although we can make our Saproling tokens and worry a little less about that. But, alright. Hey, there's our Greater Moss Dog. How about that? With all the Centaur safeguards in my hand, I don't feel too bad right now about swinging with one. We go back up to 17, and we get in for 3. Then we can play Safeguard and Moss Dog. He knows we have at least one other Centaur safeguard in our hand, too. So he's kind of like, So we're going to play Safeguard. And then our own Moss Dog. And end our turn. We are down to 1 card, and he's still got 7, so... Still not, I mean, you know, even though we're sort of ahead on the race here, it's not looking great for us. Yeah, if he just plays like that 5/4 worm who can regenerate, we're going to be in some pretty big trouble. And we did see some of those going around. Snapping Drake, okay. He can put Mark of Eviction on something now. Ooh. Well, that's going to be a lot of fun. All right. Where's our Selesnya Evangel? Yeah, you're not very good right now. I mean, I guess you can reduce damage dealt. I can reduce damage dealt to me, which isn't the worst thing ever. So I think I just swing with my 2 creatures with 3 power. Hey, my name looks familiar. It does. So I think, yeah, we just swing with those 2. Although you can just block and regenerate, but I think that's okay. He might also just trade, but I mean he has Mark of Eviction on our Greater Moss Dog, so I do that as well. So maybe that's where he knows me from. Right. Okay. Don't object too much to that. That's a pretty good trade, actually. Sort of incidental value. The amount of life we're going to gain in this game is kind of silly. I mean, we're back up at 20. So I'm going to play another safeguard. And play my Benevolent Ancestor. I tapped one too much mana for that, but hey. All right, there goes my Moss Dog. I mean, that's going to be a problem. We need to draw one of our big creatures to help us break through the control that's being slammed down on us. Because our opponent is definitely, you know, gonna, unless we can play have some big haymaker come down. It's kind of like the opposite situation. In the first round, we were the ones who were sort of just biding our time and then just won eventually, but our opponent's the one doing that now. Especially with freaking Selesnya Evangel, man. Oh. Mark of Eviction. Yeah. Swing with your Drake, man. He probably can now, actually. That is not what I wanted to see. Just gonna replay my Moss Dog. And I guess pass the turn. Yeah. Freaking. Ugh. He has 2 cards in play we would love to have in play that are actually in our deck, but. So let's see. How might this person swing? If I can prevent damage done to something, what should it be? I mean, he's going to swing with a Siege Worm potentially, and that doesn't really do me a whole lot of good to prevent damage. Like, he can still kill both of these. Do I prevent damage done to myself? Yeah, I guess that's what I'll do. I guess that's what I'll do. Yeah. So we'll only take 2 now, so that worked out okay. Mark of Eviction. Yep. That's. Take Sundering Vitae for a sideboard? I think we did. We can blow up his Signet too with that. He's clearly like splashing hardcore, and it's a pretty sweet deck our opponents managed to put together. Yeah, I mean we're just gonna lose this one eventually. I mean we can stall. Hey, there's our siege worm though. Don't mind that too much. 8 mana. So we're gonna use these guys to convoke. Play our own siege worm. And then we will play out our benevolent ancestor again. Yeah, and game 1 too, these kept kind of glowing after they reused. I don't think that used to happen on So benevolent ancestor against another siege worm isn't a bad thing. But it seems pretty likely he's going to want to evict. But yeah, I mean, our opponent can really be swinging for 5 a turn if he. I mean, his Drake isn't in a whole lot of danger. I think I just take this. As painful as it is. Don't play a Rotworm. I can't handle a huge regenerating creature. Ooh. Yeah, our opponent's deck's sweet. I mean, he basically just went. Now, how many colors are we looking at here? We're looking at 4. He may be all 5. Yeah. I mean, we might as well just scoop at this point, but I guess I can make a show of. This time I'll use it to prevent the damage done to the siege worm instead of to myself. I'm jealous of that Evangel. If I haven't mentioned that. So we're going to go with Siege Worm. Ancestor goes back to our hand. Right. All right. That's not good. Another evasive creature. So he just wins next turn with all his evasion. So unless we draw something. Game. All right. Yeah, I mean, we can't let our opponent get to that late in the game and think we can have a chance. But I think we do want Sundering Vitae. And do we want Bathe in Light too? Oh, no, not Bathe in Light. Leave No Trace. We can blow up all his blue enchantments with it. Like there, it would have been pretty sweet. What's less than stellar against this guy? I mean, Moss Dog's not overly impressive. So I'm at least bringing in the Vitae. We saw 2 enchantments, and they were both blue, so... But the Vitae also lets me blow up a Signet if I want to keep him off a color, so I think I'm just going to side it in. Yeah, I think that's the plan. All right, on to game 2. No, I don't think so. No. Yeah, that's it. That's all we got. All right, this is a much better hand. We got our Evangel. It's interesting because the word Evangel, the way they use it there, because at least these, in modern English, people use the whole word evangelical. But, we would just say an evangelical. You don't even have to, I mean, we've sort of made the adjective into a noun the way we talk these days. But, evangel, I think, is more. So, I mean, I like this hand a lot. We'll get going pretty quickly. What's he gonna do with that black mana? Is it gonna make me sad? No, you're just doing it to do it. He does have to discard a card. Discards a Drake. Since we don't have a creature for it to team up with. And then we'll play Safeguard. End our turn. We're already getting close-ish to Siege Worm territory. Dang. That's nice. Looking good over there with his ramp. So let's think here. Do I just want to swing? If I play... I think I do. I mean, it makes me play Siege Worm a turn later, but... So we'll drop him to 15, I mean, if we play the Signet, we can play Siege Worm next turn anyway. He's already got 6 mana himself, so there's his Evangel. Yeah, he probably first picked flashing. Okay. So I just play... I mean, I can actually swing and use Siege Worm. But if I... I mean, I'm definitely casting Siege Worm. I don't think there's any point in swinging right now either, so... And we'll convoke. We'll tap this so that we can make a Sapperling if we want to. So we got our big Siege Worm out there already. Oh, actually, we can't do that because we don't have the mana. But still, probably should have left this up then because at least it can block and kill stuff, but not this. He's one of the better of the transmute cards just because he's also actually like a solid creature. Evasion and regeneration, it's pretty nice. Ooh, I've been worried about one of those. And there one is. All right, we'll take 2. We do have our Gather Courages, who have been pretty kind to us so far. I think we swing with our Siege Worm here. And if he decides to block, we can do some silly Gather Courage stuff. Well, if he blocks this too, I can at least trade, which it's not really. I'd rather not. I can at least just make more Sapperlings. So... I was thinking it's regenerated. I knew it had a 1 black ability, but it turns out it's not regeneration. So yeah, we'll use Gather Courage here. It's been a very good trick for us. Yeah, he's just going to use it to make a Saproling. Which isn't, what I want, but hey. That Siege Worm gets it done. We're going to hold on to this card just to bluff, and we can make Saprolings. And that feels pretty good. If he doesn't play another sizable creature, it also makes the board, a little better for my Centaur Safeguard. Oh, man. Well, I'm glad I should have sided in an additional spell to help me deal with enchantments. We now know he has 3 blue enchantments, so our Leave No Trace actually would have been pretty good. Alright, so now we're going to do this. Yeah, not so. But I think I attack with my Safeguard. That's probably a bad idea. I didn't really think about the fact that he could just do that. So it's going to make another one too. Is it even really worth it to hold on to my Centaur after I made that mistake? Not really. We'll just trade with the Saproling. Would have been better to swing with their Saproling. Alright, end our turn there. This time at least he doesn't have 1,000 cards in his hand, but this eventually is going to draw him a card while also helping him fix. Freaking Deemer House Guard messing us up. That thing again. Seems to be happening to me a lot lately. Where you're sort of in crunch time and just can do nothing but draw lands. So, yeah. Gather Courage. It was pretty good for us. Let us take down a Rotworm, but then the Stasis Cell was ugly. We need to get a Sundering Vitae. And then we can sort of get back in action here, but I feel like we're going to lose a lot of... Did he just cast Flight of Fancy on my creature? He did. Interesting. I mean, it's tapped down, but now if I ever destroy his Stasis Cell, it's not great for him. Yeah, Flight of Fancy is good. Basically all of these. It's in the same cycle as Fists of Ironwood. They're all just like such good value. He could have put it on like a Saproling, and it would have had thing hitting me in the air at least. Bad luck definitely seems to come in chunks in my experience. Oh no, we can't attack with that many. because we want to be able to make one. 2? Not really. So we're not going to. But yeah, he's just sort of going to out control us. I mean, he's drawn extra cards, at least 1 extra card. Oh, 3 extra cards. So he's not going to have the problem we're having where we just can't draw any more action. Unless he's incredibly unlucky. But I think we're probably... Don't play a Dismisser. Dismisser would be so bad right now. I mean, that's not even great, so... And I didn't make a Saproling there for some reason. I think I accidentally yielded. Well, we're going to get 1 land out of our deck. Now... Yeah, too bad he played that Greater Moss Dog. Otherwise, it might have been worth it to attack. So, what do we want? We want one of our big creatures, one of which is already shut down, or our Sundering Vitae. Now that he gave this flying, I mean, we feel pretty good about that. All right, so we're going to do this. And get a replacement Saproling. We are down to 5. So I think even if we draw like one of our we could start blocking that. But it doesn't seem like that's going to be enough. Oh yeah, and now we're dead. So and yep. I mean, we just, our deck didn't have removal. We won round 1 because our opponent also didn't have removal, and we just had better, a better draw, and but, winning round 1 feels pretty good. Would have been nice to do more than that, but hey, I'll see you guys next week, theoretically, hopefully, when I do